Hello, welcome to another special Sudoku solve video. Today it is Tuesday, and I was planning to record this on Sunday, but life get in the way. So I am doing this now, and I am doing the quarters boss puzzle. Um, However, the link thing has broken, so when I just now tried to record it, it just didn't work. So I pre-filled in the link in my search bar, so we're going over to that now. Keymaster by SkepticalMario. I have solved this puzzle before, but I wanted to do a walkthrough to make the solve complete, the Sudokuvania solve. I did it before because of Skyskitter. I had a lot of trouble with it, but I think I could have done this first try if I just recorded my solve. It is fun though. Um, Having followed the Scry Peeper clue deeper into the castle's living quarters, you suddenly hear retreating footsteps. Someone is here. You run after them and turn a corner to find a hallway full of numbered rooms. Which one did they use? You can't let your first chance at answers get away. Sudoku, place digits from 1 to 9 into each cell without repeating a row, column, or 3x3 box. Numbered rooms, digits outside the grid are numbered room clues. The digits in the clue The digit in the clue is in the nth cell in the adjacent row or column, while n is the digit in the first cell from that clue or row or column. Killer cage. Digit in a cage cannot repeat and sum to the number in the upper left corner of the cage. Okay. That's, all standard rules. I think killer cages are new for this puzzle, actually. Okay. So, where do we start? I think because this is an interesting arrangement, right? 3 5s and 3 2s. I'm going to start with the 2s because I think that's where we start off. If you look at this, right, you have 3 boxes that the 2s can be in. So 1, 2 can be there, 1 there, 1 there. If we max those out, we do it like this, right? That's the maximum we can allot to these 3 numbers because this cannot be pushed over because then there would just be 2 2s in a box. So this is the maximum we can do. So that's 3 plus 6 plus 9, which is 18. So this has to be 3, 6, and 9. So that means that one of those is a 2, one of those is a 2, and one of those is a 2. This 5 doesn't work quite the same because this is 17, not 18. So we have a bit of wiggle room, right? Okay. So this is 4, 5, or 6. This. Okay. Like I said, it's almost been a week since I solved this, so I have to figure out stuff again as well. I'm still in debate with myself if I should use the killer calculator. For example, I did it when I first solved. If you have to have it to, it's that. So you kind of know. So the 5 is in here. And I think that's interesting for this 5. Because, okay, let's say the 5 is here, right? In one of those. This 5. And it's not in these. That's what I'm saying. It's in one of those. That means the 5 in this cage is in one of those two. That means that if that is a 5, that has to be a 5. So that's not possible. So that's a 5 then. Then that's in the case where none of these are a 5 because of this clue, right? Then that has to be a 5. But if that's a 5, that's a 4, and that's a 6. So that would put a 2 there, but then that's already a 5. So 5 has to be in one of those 3. It cannot be in the middle one because, again, 5, then that would be 5. So this is 4 or 6. Can we do the same trick again? If that's 5, then that's 6, then that's 4. And that would put a 2 there. Yeah, so that cannot be a 5. So we know that that's a 5. And that's a 6. So that's not a 6. Oh, and it's not a 9 now, so it's a 3. That does put a 2 in this cage. That removes the 4 from here. That makes that a 6. I'm gonna go look at the 9 cage. Okay, I saw the options. Well, no, let's look at it. Let's look at it. If it contains I don't think it can contain a 3. Because if that's a 3, then both of those have to be a 2. If that's a 3, then that's a 3. And the same works with this cell. So none of these can be a 3. So it's 1 to 6. So that's not a 2. That's all. So that cannot be well, a 3. None of those can be a 3, so one of those is a 3. So that is 7. Oh, not 6. 7, 8, or 9. But this doesn't contain a 1, so one of those is a 1. This. Huh. Oh, it cannot contain a 6. Yeah, okay, so that does contain a 1. That contains a 1, so that is a 1. So that's a 1. A 12 cage cannot contain a 6, so 6, 6, and one of those is a 6. And that's a 6 as well, and that's a 2. Interesting, okay. I forget, I truly forgot what I'm what the solve path is at this point. But I think I'm pulling it off fairly well. Um, if 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 I can figure some stuff out. Well, okay, so the digits not in here. It's 1, 3, 4, 6. 1, 3, 4, 6. I am curious to know if Skeptical Mario had this planned as a where if it had the killer calculator as a planned part of the solve or not, because I feel like this would be very, very difficult to do without it. So okay, so the ones that we have left, it cannot be 6, 7, because that would mean that, oh no, oh 4, 6 is not possible. So if it's 4, 6, 7, then one of those would be a 5 and one of those would be a 5, and that breaks. So that's not possible. So it's either 3, 8 or 2, 9. If it's 2, 9, it is 2, 9. Oh, that's a 0. Or it is 3, 8. Okay. Well, okay, this 2 with this 2, and it cannot be in a 12 cage. One of those are 2, so it's not 2, 9. So it is 3, 8. So one of those is a 5, and one of those is a 5. So none of those are a 6. So that's a 6, because it's not a 5. So then that's a 2. Oh, then that's a 6 as well. And that is a 9, so that's a 2. So that's not a 6, so that's the 6. So this now doesn't contain a 6. So again, it does contain a 1. So one of those is a 1, one of those is a 1. So in this row, one of those is the only place 1 can go. So there's a 1, that's a 5, that's a 5, that's not a 5. So let's remove 5 from there. So one of those is a 1, I guess. Oh, so we know this as a 3, that as an 8, so that's not a 3. So 3 is there, so it's not in this cage. So we know it is 1, 2, 4, 8. So 4 in one of those, 4 in one of those, so the 4 is there. What am I missing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So none of those are 8, so that's an 8. So none of those are an 8. Oh, that 9 places the 9 and the 7. Makes that a 3. What am I missing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 again. With an 8. Oh, no. Almost made a mistake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, not big 9. So like this. 1, 2, 4. So that's a 7 or a 9. Now this clue, this cannot be just a 3. This 3 breaks those, so it's in one of those 3. Oh, in one of those. So this is 7, 8, 9 again, but it's not 9 because of this 9, so it's 7 or 8. So it is in here with a 9, 3, 9. So that's a 7. That is a 9. That's a 7. Okay. I feel like I did a lot without using much of the bottom of the puzzle. Which I guess sure. What am I missing here? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 7. 4 and 7. So this cannot contain a 4 nor a 7. So we know it is 1, 3, 9. With that not being a 9. So what am I missing here? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 8. Yes. What am I missing in this box? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, and 9. With that being the 9 and that being the 2. I have a sneeze coming up, but it's just not arriving, so I'm just trying to ignore it. Let's see. Is it time to use this 8 clue now? Because, well, it can be there or there, right? That's the options, I think, if I scan that correctly, yes. So it cannot be this cell because then it will be a 1 and an 8 at the same time. So it's 2, 3, 2, 3, or 7. 2, 3, or 7. This is a 1, 3, 9 triple. Wow, okay. So that's not a 3. So it's a 2 or a 7. If it's a 2, that's an 8. If it's a 7, that is an 8. Okay. Is there more we can do? I have the middle of the grid like practically filled in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. None of those are 7. Yeah, that's just a jumble of things. That's not relevant, I don't think. Okay, so if that is 7 or 8, then this is a 3, 9 cage, but it cannot be. So this is a 9 with a 3 there. So this is, in fact, not this cage. Oh, it can be both. Okay. Sure. Let's see then. So in this column, oh, well, this 7 makes that an 8, makes that a 3, makes that a 9, makes that a 3, makes that a 1, makes that a 9, makes that not a 1. This is the, where can 3 go in this column? It is there. So that's not 4. Okay, that's I think all we can do at this point. Well, no, in this column I'm missing a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. So this cage can not contain a 5. Oh well, because of this 5, and this cannot be a 5. Okay, so it's very specific that if that's 2, that's 8, and that's a 4. But that does seem to work to me. If that's 7, that is 3, 4, or 1, 6. Well, okay, so this 3 and this 3 makes this not able to contain a 3. So it is 1, 6 then. So it's either, let's say it's 2, 8, 4, or it is 7, 6, 1. Now, which one of those breaks? So 2, 8, 4 gives us a 4, 8 pair that makes that a 1. Makes that a 2. But it does seem to work to me. And I don't see why it wouldn't. But it's the only thing we have left, basically. So it must be something with that cage. Well, okay, so let's see. 3, 3, 3, 3. So that's a 3. What else? I don't have much up here, so 9, 9, 9. So one of those is a 9. It's very minor things. So one of those is a 9. Well, that's a 9 then. Because that cannot be a 9, that cannot be a 9, and none in this cage can be a 9. So that's a 9, that's a 9. That does work. 6s cannot be up here, cannot be there, so that's a 6. So that has to be a 6. It's the only place 6 can go. So it is 1, 6, 7 with an 8 and a 6. And that places all the 6s. Okay, I think the rest of this puzzle is just filling stuff in at this point. Okay, that went much quicker than I expected it to. Like I said, I did solve it before, but a week ago. So what that did help me with some insights, obviously. Some that I wouldn't have had as quickly. I think my original solve was I'm pressing numbers that I already did. My original solve was around, I think, 40 minutes. Um, yeah, I think around 40 minutes. I was doing it. This might sound bad, but I was doing it during class. So that might have helped that as well. The time. Um, let's see. What am I missing? What am I missing? I'm still missing something somewhere because I am not able to just fill everything in. Did I do all the clues? Just this one hasn't been done yet. But both seem to work still. So, 2s. Yes, 2. One of those being a 2. So one of those is a 2. So that's not a 2. So that's a 2. Then I'm in this column, in this row, I'm missing a 4. Right? Yes. So those aren't 4s. Almost. Almost. What am I missing in this box? It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8. So that's 8 and 5. So that's 5, 7. So that locks this into 4, 8. So that must be 8 and then 4 with an 8, a 4, a 2, a 1, a 4, a 1. Those being an 8. So that's a 5, 7, 8, 4, 8, and 5. Now, I think I just pressed like one of the only wrong numbers that I could have. No, 4 is stuck as well. Still. 7s then. 7, 7, 7. That's all 7s. Now 4. Okay. 4, 4, 5, 5. And that's it. All right, gasps the man. You've caught me. Please just let me live. He sees your confusion and his terror and begins to calm down. The man explains that he is the caretaker of the castle, and shortly after it materialized, a group of masked figures came in and grabbed most of the staff. I only escaped because I was in here, well, looking for collectible coins, he says sheepishly. He gives you a worn pamphlet from his pocket. You open it to find an infographic explaining how row and column indexing work. Scrawled on the back, it reads, "Watch out for snakes. Oh boy. You have learned the indexing system for the library. Enter 1 into this puzzle cell in Sudokuvania." Okay, so we have a 1, we have a 3. So we have collectible coins. 1 coins, 2 coins, 3 coins, 4 collectible coins. Is that the little things? Those little things? I hope it's not those things. I am debating to read the indexing rule. Let's see. Collectible coin. Let's see. A digit on a collectible coin indicates the number of coins bearing that digit in the entire map. Ah, okay. I think that is what is going to resolve the eventual puzzle, like for example these. Because I have a 9 on this one. I have a 4 or 5 on this one. I have a 9 on this one. So, yeah, okay. Let's see. A codex cell, that's the book. Let's look at that real quick. It's one of those. A codex cell indicates the column in its row. The column in its row. With a book icon in a column N contains a digit matching the column X, where digit N is found in that row. So a digit in column N. Let's wait. No, press it and then look at. Oh, okay, that doesn't work. For example, this 3. Matching the column digit in column N, so that's 5, contains a digit matching the column. Okay, so that's column 5, matching a column X. So, matching the column X, where digit N is found in that row. So, for example, if the book is in column 5, then that digit in that cell says that, for example, this 3 says that in column 3, digit 5 is found in that row. So, okay. Oh, it kept it open. So this is column 2. So these digits say where 2 is in that row. So in column n, so 2. So n is 2 in these 3 cases. I don't think you can see it actually. Wait, let me. Oh, okay, it kept it. These books are in column 2. So they say, so n is 2. So they say matching the column x, where digit n is found in that row. So this basically says, because it's column 2, it says, what does it say? I'm sorry, I have to just wrap my head around it so I fully understand before I get into it. In column n, so that's 2, contains a digit matching the column x, where the digit n is found in that row. So this has to be a 1. Yes, okay. Okay. So these say where the 2 go. These say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these say where the 5 go, and these say where the 6 go. It must be. Yeah, okay, that's how it does work. Okay, so that's it. That's it. That's how that works. Okay. Now I'm thinking, do I want to continue with some just logic here? And I think I will before I get into this. I will get into that today. I think. We'll see how it goes. I'm first gonna try and solve more of this. Um, I made a quick cut so that if I made a mistake, I would revert, and I did very quickly make a mistake, so that's okay. Um, I had this 8 pencil marked, and I just filled in an 8 because I saw this 8, but there's obviously an 8 there. But let's do it the way it is intended now. That of course is by not seeing what I'm able to do. I'm missing 4, 5, and 6, and 2. So one of those is a 2. So that's not a 2, right? Yes. 4, 2. One of those being a 2. Well, that pushes back down this 4 because the 4 has to be there now, and it's there. And this just has to be bigger than. Oh, that's a 5 now, so that's a 5 on a coin. That makes that a 4, that a 5. That makes that a 5, that a 7. Let's see. That makes this a 4. Where else? There is more to be discovered now. This 1 makes that a 1. So that's a 7. That 1 puts a 1 there. I'm missing 1, 2, 3. I'm missing 4. And what what is it? 6 in that box? Yes. So that's a 5. That's not a 5. So this is 2 and 6 as well. 2, 6. Five is in one of those two. In this column, in this row, I'm missing 1. So 1 can only be there. And I'm missing, so that has to be a high digit then. I'm afraid again that I made a mistake. I am afraid again that I made a mistake. Is that the case? So 6, the only place 6 can go in this column is, in this row is there. So I'm missing 7 and 9. So that has to be a 9, that has to be a 7. So that has to be a 2, that has to be a 2. That has to be a 3. That has to be a 2 again. So that's a 6. That's a 5. That's a 5. That is a 2. So that's a 9. I'm so confused by this. 1, 2, 3. And I'm missing a 5, 6. And in this box I'm missing 3, 3, and 9. That gives us a 9, a 6, a 6, and a 4. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that is the grid complete. Okay, sure. I don't know why the fog is still there. But now let's move over to library logic. And before that, I'm going to pause the recording again. Okay, then this being done is, let's see, that's a grid complete. So now it's, I think, time for the library. That's grid 5. So are we still doing things in order? Grid 4, grid 2, grid 3, yeah. So grid 5. Which is grid 6 then? 5, 9. Grid X by portal 7. Elsewhere. Okay. Sure. So we looked at the logic here. This is this going to interact with this? Please tell me no. Okay. So this is a box, right? Because this is a box. So this is a box. So this sees 3 different digits, so it's at least 6, 7, 8, or 9. And this says where the 5 goes, because it's in column 5. So if that's a 6, that's a 5. And that's not possible. Because if that is 6, well, okay, that cannot be 6. Because if that's 6, this is 1, 2, 3. Then this is at least 4 or 5. And then this is a minimum of 10. So that cannot be 6. So 5 is in one of those. Now, if that's 7, then this is 1, 2, 4. So then this is 3, 5 with a 1, and then that's a 9. But that's possible. I think. Okay, so the minimum combined they can be is 12, right? Because 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So 12. That cannot be 1, 2. So the minimum this is 3, 4. The minimum this is 3 or 4 with 3 or 4 Okay, no, I 3 or 4 with a 1, that is 7, that's 8, plus 6, that's 14. So the minimum combined this can be is 14. Now, so that means that it is 6, 7, 8, or 9, because if that's the highest it can be, the lowest it can be is a 5, and it cannot be a 5. If that's a 6, it just indexes itself. So, or this is a 6, or one of those is 6. Okay. But what I'm thinking is, this says where the 2 can go. So, does one of those have to be a 2? We looked at this minimum this can be is 1, 3, 4, which is 8. If this doesn't contain a 2, it is 1, 3, 4 as well. So then this minimum this is combined is 16. But I can then be just 7, 9. That does seem fine. Four, this can never be a 2. Because this 4 sees all of these. So this cannot contain a 2. So within this box, one of those is a 2. So that means that this is 5 or 6? Yes. Now where... Right, that is true. So this 7 basically says none of those can be a 2. And this indexes where all the 5s go. So what we did with the numbered room clue is kind of a training for this, right? Because it does have the same 5 and 2 logic again. Because this says 5 is in one of those. This will say 5 is in one of those, or this one. But my point being is, one of those has to be a 5. Because this has to index the 5 somewhere. So if that's a 2, that's a 5. That is an easy way to do it. But if that is the low number, then it's a 3. So if that is 5, it indexes itself. So if that is 6, right, it indexes itself, but then one of these has to index a high number, so 7, 8, or 9. That can never index 7, 8, or 9. Because 7 with 2 ones is already 9, and that doesn't work. So if that is 6, then that could be high with 7 with a 1 and a 1, but that doesn't work either. So that cannot be the high digit. So one of these needs to be low and one of these needs to be medium. But okay, so what's the optimum we could do for that? Because none of those couldn't be 1, because then they would put that digit there, and that's not possible. So the minimum this can be is 2, 3. And I say that these are then the minimum as low because they will index that. So we have, well, 1, 2, 3 there. Then this would be 2 medium digits, so that would be 4 and 5. So that's 9 plus 6, that is 15, plus 1, that is 16. So the minimum these are is 16. Could that not be a 1? Because then it would be a 3. That would make it 18, and that doesn't work, because then this is 4, 5 as minimum, and this is 2, 3. If we switch it around, where those are the small ones, it's already, well, one of those can be small, but then it's already 3. And then the other is medium, and we could have a 2 and some something like a 5, but that does add up to the same total, with that being a 1. So that has to be a 1. I'm still afraid to put that in, but I'm fairly sure that it has to be a 1. Yes, okay. So now, why has it revealed this? What is the purpose of this? What's the purpose of revealing this to me? It doesn't bring me more information, I don't think. It just shows more of the puzzle, I guess. Maybe it's more of a gradual thing. Um, that couldn't be a 2, because then that would be a 7. So if it's not a 1, it's a 3 again, and we have the same problem, right? Because that cannot be 1, 2. So the minimum this was 2, 3, which is fair. Well, these always index each other, I guess. But anyway, that's then 2, 3. Then that's a, well, that will be a 4 already. And then that will be 4, 5. What's the minimum this can be now? It's 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5, 10, 14, 15. With a 1, that's 16. So if it's not a 1, it's not a 2, it's a 3, and that would be 18 as a minimum. So that's another 1. One of those is a 1. That can be very easily obscured for this 2 clue. Seven, 8, or 9. Oh, this also says that one of those is 6, I guess. I don't know how many coins there are in total. I think I might have to wait that out. Okay. So this is already 2. And the minimum, what I said the minimum this was 2, 3, that's 14, 16. But that could just be 7, 9, or it could contain a 6, I guess. Can it not contain a 3? If it doesn't contain a 3, it is 2, 4, 5, 6. Then we have 17, 19. That's not possible. So it has to contain a 3. So one of those has to be a 3. So that means that whichever one of these is 3, we'll put a 5 or 6 in one of those. So that cannot be a 5 or a 6. Well, it couldn't. It never could. That cannot be a 2 in reference itself. If it's a 3, it puts it there. If it's something else, it puts a 2 there. So it just does put a 2 there. So that's an 8 or a 9. Because where else can a 2 go in this row, I guess? So that makes this a 5, 6, 2. With that being a 3. So this can only see 2 digits. So something has to be obscured, but I don't think I'm there quite yet. Um, well, okay, that does mean that one of those is a 7. So that does mean the other one has to be a 9, because if it's 8, it's only 15. So that is 16. That is the minimum. So this was 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have 6 and what am I missing? 6 and 8. So the 6, so one of those has to be 4, so those couldn't be 4. So yeah, still one of those is 2, so none of those are 2. If that's a 3, that's a 5, that's a 4. That's a 5, it just indexes itself. Yeah, that's it's, I think, for what I can see so far. I want to get this logic figured out, right? So if this is the one that is 7, since they both have 1, it is just some arrow is going to be 9, some arrow is going to be well, one of them is 6 as a combo, and one of them is 8 as a combo. So it's 3, 5, and 2, 4. So this, is that true? Yes, because how else are you going to make 6? It's 1, 5 isn't an option. Okay, so it is 2, 4. So whatever this is not going with 2, 4. So that must be the 2. That must be the 4. That must be a 6. This must be a 5. That must then be a 3, which puts a 6 there, which puts an 8 there. So this is then 7, 9, 5, 8. Whisper logic with the indexer stuff. Okay. I see. I can see where this puzzle is heading to. It is something that I don't think I will fully understand ever. This already sees the 9. 8 cannot be back here, so 8 is up here somewhere. If the 8 is in front of any digit, behind any digit, it'll see that digit and the 9, so the 8 is there. Surprised that didn't just reveal that cell, because I think that's a very... That was used before, so I think that's a knowledge trick at this point. Let's see, I want to get to a boss puzzle, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and 9. Then I'm missing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yes? Okay. Okay. If these are low digits, they are a 1 and a 2. Because it sees 3 and 4. Could they be 1, 2? No. Because they will put a 6 there. So it cannot be low digits, so it's high digits. So it's 6, 7, 8. It cannot be 6 because that will put a 1 there and that breaks. So this is 1, 2, 3. That's 2 or 3. If that's 6, it just indexes itself. Well, okay, so this cannot be a 7, 8 pair. Because if that's the case, it puts a 6, 2 6s there. So that has to be a 6. That has to be a 1. This just puts a 6 into one of those two. But it can still be both. So what else at this point, right? Oh, well, that's a 6. Is there more? One of those is a 1. I feel like it must be doable to see another boss puzzle. So I am going to fight for it. Do I already have to use the coins? I don't think that's the case. I truly don't think that's the case. One of those are 3. Did I fill in everything? Oh, no. This 7 places a 5 there. And this 9 places a 6 there. So that's a 2. Have I done this already? Places, yeah, that index itself. Yes, I have. Okay, that 5, that makes that. Oh, I could have filled in that as well. But that's okay. Oh wait, this 8 puts a 7 there. The overlapping grids does mess a bit with my scanning, but that's okay. That feels more like an excuse, I think. But it is, obviously not meant that way, but it does not impact the fact that it may be perceived as such. Um, what? 2s? Sorry, I'm not seeing much at this point. One of those an 8? 9? One of those is a 9? Is there a single somewhere that I'm not seeing? I use all the logic that I have at my disposal, I think. So it is just Sudoku that I'm not seeing. Um, this does happen more often though, so it isn't that surprising. Um, whenever I do Sudokus with someone, they always do my scanning, and I do the logic, and I don't know. Um, puzzles are fun to do together, though. You truly see the difference in thinking between one person and another. I've done all the books. What am I missing? Did it reveal something else somewhere? Library index. That hasn't revealed anything there. No, it must be something. Is it the coin rule? I don't believe it's the coin rule. Because I have a 9 and I have an 8 on there. So it could basically be any digit. I have a 5 on there. 8, 9, 5, 7, 9. Yeah, no. I don't think that's it. Nothing new has been revealed in that puzzle. Just the books. It's just the books that we have now. So what? This 8 must be correct. Yes, it is. Um, so where am I? I am staring dead at something that I'm just supposed to see that I'm not seeing. Do I know what these lines are? These red lines? No, I don't. So what then? Hidden puzzles as well. I'm concerned. I'm concerned for this 1-9. I don't know. Um, I feel like I'm just breaking up time at this point. 5 puts a 2 there. 8 puts a 2 there. 2, 2. One of those is a 2. Oh, that's 7. Wow. Okay, that's 7 places a 6, obviously. What is this for? Oh, whoa. You fell down a trap door. Sorry. Unlock roaming lines? What? I think that's this. Roaming lines is portrayed by palindrome. Every cell of a blue roaming line has a digit. The sequence of its cells is read the same forwards as backwards. So that's an end. That's an end, so that has to be an end. Whoa, okay. Okay, is this grid 6, designed by maintenance? 6, that makes that a 4. That digit and that digit are the same. That digit and that, so that's an 8. Then that's a 5, that's a 1. That's another 9. Okay. Designed by maintenance. Pipes sprawl along the walls and low ceiling in this dark place. You can only guess what purpose of these mechanisms serves, but they all look important. I am going to leave it there for a moment. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a nice day. I am very, very excited to continue this. I did not expect that at all. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.